going on there. No
I
delays.
got no sounds yet.
Expressways or tollways are also moving at posted speed.
Rick put up the finished product with the hashtag meat sweats.
What's it on Facebook?
Yeah.
It is currently
Meat sweat?
84 degrees under cloudy skies in Chicago, dropping down to a low
Do we have
of
any
37
sound,
degrees
George?
tonight.
Do we have no sound in our headphones?
Minutes on AM560.
Is the board on?
Go! Yes, that worked.
Is the board on cue?
I'm on auto.
Yeah, but do you have the two lines queued on or something?
Well, now I can't have children. Fine.
In other words, it's your fault. That's what he's trying to say. It's your
Do
fault.
you have sound?
No, I can't hear that.
It's not. We have nothing in our headphones.
I haven't got it.
Yeah, you're on cue.
The answer is stone.
Thank you.
2 million square feet of marble and granite countertops and 50 colors starting at $26 a square foot.
I'm glad it was that.
Plus the latest appliances, cabinetry, faucets, and fixtures. Stone City designers transform your dream into reality. Stone City, 3053 West Grand in Chicago, or call 773-533-9806. That's 773-533-9806. Stone City, it's your home, only better.
There's an amazing new shooting club now open in Lake County, Illinois that I'm excited to tell you about. It's GTR Sporting Club. GTR is a state-of-the-art, well-lit shooting range, a well-stocked firearm and accessory center, plus a full range of training classes for the novice to the experienced shooter. But here is the amazing difference. In addition to being open to the public, GTR also offers private memberships. It's really a gun club as opposed to your average shooting range and store. As a member, you'll enjoy range time, access to the club room, and camaraderie of fellow shooters, plus discounts galore. The atmosphere is upscale, sophisticated, and the friendly staff will take care of your every need. GTR Sporting Club, your premier shooting destination, is located in Waukegan between Route 41 and Green Bay Road, just 2 miles east of I-94. Visit GTRSporting.com or call 847-782-8888. That's 847-782-8888.
Never want
Showtime.
go to waste.
I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them. And that Mr. and Mrs. America turn them all in. I would have said.
I have 2 words for you. You will never see it coming.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life. From gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
And welcome to On Target Radio. I'm David Lombardo.
I'm Gretchen Fritz. Tonight, David and I will be talking about Indiana's new Religious Freedom Restoration Act, how the NSA has found yet another way to spy on citizens, the head of the FDIC saying Operation Choke Point was just a simple mistake, and how much do you love bacon? One woman shot up a McDonald's drive-thru window because they forgot to put bacon on her burger.
Yeah, so be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600 if you want the bacon burger, or go to Facebook, like our page On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, the seething cauldron of personal opinion. It's time for David's rant of the weekend.
Frankly, I'm sick and tired of militant Muslims demanding that everyone cater to their twisted beliefs or they'll be offended. You're offended that I want bacon with my eggs in the morning? I'm offended you sell women into sexual slavery after you force them to watch you behead their husbands and burn their children alive. But then, of course, that's an integral part of religious freedom, right? How about the next time our president demands that I bend over and take one for the team to appease you, narcissist? You just kiss my ass. I really miss that donkey, by the way. The last I heard, he's one of your sex slaves in Syria. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're a Baptist, a Jew, a Buddhist, Reformed Druid, or a Nawabianismist. This is the United States of America, and religious freedom is tightly woven into the fabric the Founding Fathers used to swaddle a newborn country. Listen up. Let me repeat those words. Religious freedom. That's religious freedom for all. Not just a bunch of third world psychotics who haven't yet learned to discover the invention of toilet paper. This extreme radical entitlement mentality, this dogmatic approach to social issues that makes a ragtag collection of lunatics think they're being offended, is somehow justification to subjugate any dissenting point of view? You expect people to who fall within one standard deviation of normalcy to show you respect? We're supposed to think eating Portillo's ribs is an abomination, but having sex with farm animals and flying jets full of innocent men, women, and children into high-rise office buildings is normal? It would be bad enough by far if the only nutcases were militant Muslims, but the cancer of entitlement has metastasized into the fabric of our society. Everyone seems to think offending them is justification for the subjugation of an opposing point of view and a religious conviction. Why is my offending you more important than you offending me? It isn't a zero-sum game, partner. It's a democracy. You vote yes, I vote no. It's a draw, and it's status quo prevailing. So get on your high horse and ride off into the sunset. My fellow Americans, let me share a little secret with you. Here in the good old US of A, the inmates are running the asylum. Let me give you the most recent example. I've said many times I have no problems with gay marriage. I do wish for at least a few years they'd call it civil union just to diffuse the emotional aspect of a word that has significant religious connotation. We grouse about using the word marriage. We grumble amongst ourselves. We shrug our shoulders. Then we get back to our lives. Nota bene. Unless I missed it in the paper, no Christian has yet to cut the heads off of a gay couple because the term marriage offends them. But don't shove it in John Q's face. Do your thing, have a memorable day, and I honestly wish you a great life. But don't expect everyone to buy you a wedding gift. You know what chaps my butt? Trying to force someone whose religious belief doesn't recognize gay marriage to make your wedding cake, take your photos, or cater your dinner. Suing someone over it, filing a complaint with the Attorney General, and harassing that individual in any other way is strictly an adolescent tantrum. It's you not getting your way and wanting to punish someone for disagreeing. Grow up. Your being offended does not trump my being offended. Mature people agree to disagree and go their separate ways. They don't look for their big brother to beat up the other person. And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
Yeah, what he said.
Right off into the sunset. I don't know. You know, I just, this whole thing, the Indiana thing, is what got me started on it. There's that woman in Seattle who's had a bakery like her whole life.
Right.
Or close. I mean, probably not as an infant. She wasn't rolling dough, but you know.
Right. I'm trying to get all the different stories straight. There's a photographer that's being sued, and there's
right. Yep. But the woman
in Oregon, I think there's
the
ministers.
Oh, that's the other one.
The town, the town is like suing them.
Exactly.
Because they won't perform.
Exactly.
The marriage
and here's the thing, and we're talking about this in pre-show. Like with blacks in this, you know, all the way up until the civil rights movement, if you can say nobody in this town will let me go in and eat the lunch counter, okay, I get that. That's an issue.
Sure.
It's not like there's nobody who'll make a wedding cake.
Well, and not only that, but what I don't understand is how are these people even like finding out? I mean, I guess if the bakery or the photographer or the minister or whatever comes right out and says, no, I don't believe in same-sex marriage, I guess that's where they're getting in trouble. But I mean, if I were one of those service providers, I would just be like, oh, you know what, I'm book solid.
Well, yeah. You're listening to Target Radio, and this is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. 312-642-5600. Should people be forced to do things in their occupation that are against their religious belief? The woman in Seattle who had the bakery had an ongoing relationship with those people. They'd been customers of hers forever. And so naturally they went to her to have the wedding cake done.
Sure.
She knew they were gay. She knew they were couples. She didn't have any problem with any of that. But she, and according to her now, it's her side of the story that we read, but according to her, she said, you know what, I wish you happiness, but it's against my religion. I can't do the wedding cake thing. And they said, according to her again, okay, they left, they hugged and they left, and then all of a sudden they're after. Yeah. And it literally, it's somebody being petulant.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's somebody being, you won't do what I want, then screw you. And let me say it again. if there's a discrimination where nobody will help you, you're black and you can't get to eat in a restaurant, I get that totally. Okay, this is a case of selective. Bob won't make my cake. Everybody else in town will, but not him. So let's sue him. Let's make him go to jail.
Well, and it's just so hard for me to understand. I just think that if you own a business, you should be able to refuse service to anyone for any reason.
See, I got to think about that because here's why. Just think about that for a second. If it's a uniform, like in the South, okay, even for a while after the civil rights laws, they still were doing that. I told you when I was at Fort Benning, they had colored water fountains. This is 1968, for God's sake. I do get it. I mean, I do get that people should have a right to go and live their life normally. But there's a line somewhere. Why does your desire outweigh mine?
Well, no, I completely.
And you're not arguing it is.
No,
I
completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. And you said in the rant, why, you're offended and I'm offended. So let's just, agree to disagree.
Right.
Let's just, be grown-ups and do our own thing. It's just okay. Like I've been a bartender before, or waited tables in a restaurant where we did our own bartending, and we were told that if you think, you get to make a judgment call. If you think someone's had too much to drink, you can refuse to give them any more drinks, and you're supposed to. Or like one of the case law situations that we talk about in concealed carry, store owner posts a sign that these people are not welcome in my store because they've passed bad checks on me before, and that was common practice to put like a little note by the cash register back in the day.
Yeah.
Of don't take checks from these people because they're not trustworthy. I guess I don't understand how this is really much different than that. I just simply don't want to serve you.
I agree. I mean, I totally agree.
I think that any private business owner should be able to make that call. Of course, I don't like racial discrimination. I don't like, various kinds of discrimination. But on the other hand, if someone's discriminating against white females, do I really want to go to their establishment and give them my money anyway? Not really.
Now, Mike Pence, governor in Indiana, they passed a law, Religious Freedom Restoration Act, that basically says you can't pass a law that forces people to do something that's against their belief. And I think that's a fair thing to do. If maybe it's this,
and it's based on a 1993 law, as well.
Maybe it's this. Maybe if it's a systemic discrimination, in other words, like blacks and
right,
then I get that. I get the civil rights law. I really do. I don't have any problem with that at all.
Of course.
But if it's Bob's Bakery doesn't like me because I wear a beard, it's Bob's Bakery.
Right. Bob gets to decide.
Bob gets to decide. When we come back, Bob will get to decide about this. The FDIC admits, we made a mistake in Operation Choke Point. Yeah. More on Target Radio when we come back. You're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center.
I do.
I'm Russell Harper, taking a look at traffic.
And I had no idea I was going to say any of that stuff. That was not what I expected.
I'm relieving you of your Indian cuisine, and I will be doing it as per your desires.
Thank you. At least for a while.
I'll start it off. I'll say, if you love great Indian cuisine but hate doing this commercial like Gretchen does,
Raise your hand.
On the outbound Bishop Ford at Stony Island Avenue, there is a crash on the Stony Island feeder ramp off of the outbound Bishop Ford. No delays on any of the main highways right now. Also, no delays on the CTA or Metro lines. 47 degrees right now.
We have a question on
Chicago.
Facebook that I'm gonna call in the expert.
Dry overnight. Next update is in 15 minutes.
I'm gonna tag Ed so that he'll answer it.
Fezabooch?
This guy says,
is the
if you're gonna look at it,
for this country right now.
so Brian Douglas asked a
What
question.
exactly were you saying, Joe?
Here's what I
Barack Obama is the perfect president for a country that's grown silly and soft and
Is this like on the left side?
Yeah.
One of those deals?
For a
Okay, yeah. Brian Douglas. Question about free fire zones.
starting at
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why he's saying
560.
free fire. That's so
The
stupid.
answer.
It's like not what they're
Being a
called.
responsible firearm owner, protecting your family.
There's 6 people on your street.
Introducing Chicago.
Oh, that's a big swell of 1 or 2.
PS Arms Pro Shop
More than
Factory
normal.
Showroom is a full-line manufacturer of firearms that just opened a brand new factory showcase to the public. They stock over 300 new and used firearms, plus parts and accessories. Hunters, target
What? I
shooters,
don't even
and
understand
PS
this.
Arms has you covered too.
All of
Sorry,
these
I'm
legislatures
on
had
the
no problem
radio.
going blood.
They have the
And like-
expertise to service the most experienced
There were no
shooters
free
for the
firearm
mountains.
rentals. In fact, the blood analysis and dentist office were unfairly found unfortunate. The question is, the blood donation center required by law to be? No, of course not. It's private business.
Oh, see, I don't.
Unless it's a hospital.
Right, hospitals and
Well, there's 2 types.
healthcare
There's
people,
2 types.
places like
It
that.
could be a hospital, yeah.
See, I don't know. And that's, I was gonna say, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hospitals and medical facilities have to.
Okay. So I'll bring in the commercial. You got something then that you want to say? Or because the next thing is the FDIC saying, oh, our bad. Operation Choke Point was a little mistake.
Oh, well, I wanted to talk about the boycott Indiana thing
Oh, no, we
specifically.
can do that.
Yeah, just for a minute or
Keep
two.
going, keep going.
Just for a couple minutes.
There's not that much under Operation Choke Point to begin with.
Okay.
Dad, the
Yeah.
fire's not
But
out.
it segues into the $5,000. You know, there always was the
Come on, Dad, do
10,000.
your homework.
Yeah.
If it's too hot to touch,
Now
then
it's
too hot to
5,000.
leave.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That has not trickled down to Edward Jones yet. 'Cause we know about the 10. We have problems.
That's a long time.
Yeah, we have problems with 10, but
Brought to you by Smoky Bear.
but yeah, I just wanted to
Forest
point out
Service,
how
State
ridiculous
Forest,
trying to
and the
boycott
Outdoor Zone.
Indiana
Learn more
is,
at
especially for people who
smokybear.com.
live in Illinois, where Illinois already has this law.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And welcome back on Target Radio. If you love great Indian cuisine like we do, then you must experience Gaylord Fine Indian Dining in Schaumburg. Gaylord is so good, Gretchen and I eat there before the show. For over 38 years, 18 in Schaumburg, Gaylord has served an extensive menu of fine Indian cuisine. Signature dishes such as tandoori and Jinga Jumbo prawns, chicken tikka masala, or the tangy and hot South Indian specialty lamb vindaloo. All dishes are prepared using only quality fresh ingredients, including the elaborate $12.95 lunch buffet that's cooked that morning. Manager Darren Dabrio invites you to come early when they open at 11:30 weekdays and noon on weekends to see the freshness for yourself. I recommend that you skip breakfast and save your appetite. And Gaylord can accommodate business meetings or events or radio talk show hosts up to 60 people. Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine is on Mall Drive just south of Woodfield Mall. Call 847-619-3300 or visit GaylordIL.com. Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine is the Mercedes of fine Indian dining. 847-619-3300. So,
Masterfully read.
yes, we're talking about Indiana and the whole
Indiana's new law.
Indiana's new law.
I just wanted to point out how utterly ridiculous it is, especially if you're in Illinois, to try to boycott Indiana, because Illinois already has this law. So you're going to boycott Illinois too?
Probably. Why not? Well, aren't people already boycotting, including people who live in Illinois?
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of people leaving Illinois, but other than them,
I think they're moving to Indiana.
not anymore.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, are we going to go to Wisconsin to buy everything?
We got somebody on
It's kind
Facebook.
of far away to go to Iowa.
Well, it's not that far. If I were going to go somewhere,
It's like 4
it
hours.
wouldn't be Indiana or Iowa. Not that I have anything against Indiana or Iowa. Boy, that was a bad thing to say. But it's not my idea of a vacation to leave frozen Chicago and go to frozen
it
Iowa.
depends. There are some beautiful things in Indiana. I took my mom to a resort in southern Indiana one time. It's very beautiful.
Well, perhaps.
It's very hilly and scenic.
Yeah.
And there's 2 vintage hotels next to each other. They're both from like 1900. and they've been
In what town is this?
French Lick.
Oh, French Lick, yeah, French Lick, Indiana. Right, yeah. We have a thing.
Very beautiful.
We have a thing on Facebook from Larry Andrew.
Yes.
And Larry says people nowadays are so offended by everything. I believe that ever since Obama took office, so many people are unemployed that they have all day and nothing to do except think up this crap. Ooh, can we say that?
Yes, I say crap all the time.
You can say crap. Yeah, we can say. Thanks, Larry, for having me swear on the radio.
Well, and also there's a total of 30 states now who have similar religious protection laws on the books. So there's 30 out of the 50 states you're going to have to boycott. That's the bad news. If anybody thought that they were going to boycott Indiana, there's 29 other states you need to boycott as well.
It just really goes back to we've lost all common sense.
Mhm.
When I was a kid, which, we didn't have things like television, but when I was a kid,
Automobiles.
we walked. I had to walk. You know what?
Before Coca-Cola.
In the dead of winter, I'm not being silly. In the dead of winter, in those days, the 50s, you walked to school. It didn't matter if it was snowing. I would walk knee deep in snow a block. But, I mean, it wasn't that far, admittedly. But it was,
right, you went to the local Catholic school.
yeah, exactly. But you got
Really
beaten
close.
when you got there and it warmed you up. It was fun.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
right. We had ways to get warm.
You're listening to Non-Target Radio, where we have lost total control. But give us a call, 312-642-5600. Should people be allowed to, pharmacists have the same issue with birth control.
Yes.
They have the exact same issue.
Yes.
Should
And
they
it's
be able to do it?
become more and more of a problem with the Affordable Care Act. Sorry, that gets stuck in my throat every time I say it.
Yeah.
The conscience rights largely have been taken away from a lot of people. A lot of doctors are required to offer abortions. A lot of
I think,
like you're saying, pharmacists are required to administer abortifacients even if they don't believe in them.
I think Larry really hits the nail on the head. This administration, I mean, we've had tension for decades, and I get that. But this administration has gone out of its way to intentionally do this. Intentionally.
I mean, with all the race baiting and the dividing, totally, it's obvious by this point. Their strategy is divide and conquer.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
So Larry, you hit a home run on that one, right?
Yes. I love too. It says Hillary Clinton said on Twitter, "It's sad that this can happen in America today," but her husband signed the federal Religious Freedom Restoration Act in 1993. This guy says the level of hyperbole is just amazing, and I thought that was prescient. I thought that was a great thing to say, hyperbole.
Yeah. She, by the way, she met the deadline about turning over all of her email. She did. By the deadline, they were all gone.
Yeah, she wiped the server.
She wiped the entire server off. And you know what? I know they'll give her a pass. I know they will.
I think she got the idea from a nursery rhyme, like Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean.
Could eat no
so
email.
betwixt the two of them, they licked the platter clean. She was reading this to her new granddaughter, and she got the idea. Wiped it clean.
Lick the server clean. Yeah, well, there's a lot of leaking going on in the White House in that family. So anyway, the point, you notice I didn't get bleeped on that.
That was amazing.
It was.
That was an amazing segue.
I'll show you what 2 years at Second City will do for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't always know what.
Day wasted.
I don't always know what's going to come out of my mouth, but something will be coming out of it. Operation Choke Point. Operation Choke Point was ostensibly the federal government said to banks.
No, they pretty much admitted it.
Okay, maybe that was a bad choice. What is it? I often use big words I don't understand, so people think I'm photosynthesis. Yeah. So the FDIC chairman Martin Grunberg, I love this, told members of Congress this past week how much the FDIC's involvement in Operation Choke Point was a mistake. Oh, I'm sorry. Did we make the entire firearm industry non-compos mentis? Excuse me, that was an error.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. We'll correct that. So they corrected, right? They corrected. It's okay. And then, like almost the next day, out they come with: if you withdraw more than $5,000 from your bank account, you have to report it to the feds.
The bank has to.
Yeah, the bank has to report to the feds. It's been 10,000 for years.
Right.
And it's a drug. It's about drugs. Actually, that's how it started.
And money laundering. And
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. But they got banks spying on us.
Yeah.
Everybody's spying on us.
Well, and $5,000, that's not really a lot of money.
Not at all. I just paid off a bunch of bills with a lot more than that.
Oh, right. Yeah, you were like.
So you know I'm on the
you were
watch
like
list
doing
now.
checks way bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't believe that. It's like all sorts of things cost $5,000. Doesn't like an outboard motor cost $5,000 or more?
Yes, you know it does, because we were just at Bass Pro Shop and I was looking at one.
Well, it made me think of back when the month several years ago when in the same month my dad bought a new car, a new outboard motor, and a new washing machine.
I didn't follow that at all. Was there a thread in there somewhere? I missed that. I was reading.
Those were all expensive purchases.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I was just reading on the call board. George has a very interesting way of making annotations on our call board. And they're just little cryptic notes that make sense to Georgie, but not to anyone else at all.
Well, I'm sure the caller.
He's going to speak. Oh, he's going to speak. Here he comes. A previous show.
Yeah, the thing you're looking at that says, way to go everyone, great show. That's not for me.
No,
Oh, no,
Andy.
that's not what we're looking
Andy
at.
from Chicago.
We're looking at the top thing.
Oh, well, what's interesting about it?
Well, it just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't
George.
make any sense to us people who didn't.
As
talk
far
to
as
the
I can
caller.
tell, it's Aramaic.
You can always take the call.
Oh, it's too close to the commercial.
No, Andy, you got about 30 seconds, buddy. Go ahead. No, you're Andy. We're David and Gretchen. Oh, now the note makes a little more sense. Yeah, now it makes more sense. Except here's the difference, and this is the big part that you're missing, Andy. We're wrong. We're right-wing whack jobs, and so we don't count.
Well, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to get that over.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and I hope now we've schooled you, and you know that you're a loser like us.
It's a good point, though. It is a good point, and it deserves to be said.
Well, there you go. All right, Andy, thanks for calling. I agree with you. You're right. We're going to be back after this, after a few messages with more on Target Radio. And who knows? We're going to talk about another way that the feds are monitoring John Q.
The changing of seasons as spring finally arrives.
Sorry, I see now how that might have been a little confusing.
What did you say? I was
She
impressed.
said, "Oh, now I see how it's confusing."
I want to talk less about rate and more about the
Well, it was.
Stay tuned.
Well, you have to understand that I'm typing these things in very quickly because you were still talking about that issue
Yeah.
when I was typing it, and then by the time I finished typing it, you were on to the choke point thing. So
We're power.
I was trying to get these things in fast.
We're on a roll, bro.
Plus, that's in the language of my brain, not my brain.
And now you're hitting the nail on the head. That's where we're running afoul.
Papua New Guinea. As for the possibility of a tsunami,
The Tsunami Warning Center did
Tsunami.
not issue any warnings, but they did issue a
Yeah,
tsunami.
7 point something earthquake
just
off
returned
Papua
from
New
the
Guinea.
U.S. Geological
Was it?
Survey.
That'll be a big wave.
Investigators looking
Plus,
into the reasons why
2,
the German
5.5
snowpile
plus
deliberately
aftershock.
crashed
That's gonna be a
Airbus
big
jet
wave.
into a mountain. Want to examine his
Yeah,
remains.
it'll get chilly if anything.
Yeah, you bet.
Body of Andrei Stelubitz. They say it may be able to provide more insight into the illness he was apparently hiding. Cockpit recorders captured audio
Although
of
doesn't
frantic
it depend a
attempts
lot on
by
the
the pilot
depth
to get back into the cockpit.
Of the rupture itself as to whether or not there's that much of an
Fox
outpush.
Radio's
I'm sure there's
Italy,
a lot of
Michigan
physics
versus
involved.
Duke, and
When
Kentucky
you
will
have
play
earthquakes
Wisconsin.
by water,
College
they usually
basketball's
do not do
Final
well.
Four. Fox News.
Water doesn't compress.
No, it doesn't.
How can you get
And
from
ask
there
anyone
to
that's
there?
fallen from a building thinking it would be soft.
Or been under the water when their friend throws an M80 20 feet.
I'm Russ Harper. Take a look at traffic.
Remind me someday to tell you about when I got dared to ride a bicycle off a high dive in a pool.
Involving 2 different pickup trucks.
About 13
Can I just ask,
milliseconds.
Did you land in the same place as the bicycle, or were you separated?
No,
by-
about 13 milliseconds after the front tire went down and the back tire was still on, I realized I had made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had enough traction that I could push away.
There's enough physics involved in that. That
Yeah.
you don't want to,
Yeah, it was,
your own personal earthquake.
it seemed like a good idea when I took the dare.
Yeah, I have one of those stories too. It involves my brother tying a rope for my skateboard to the garage door handle. And then I was going belly first. Let's just say it wasn't always this ugly.
Yeah.
Next update is in 15
Yeah,
minutes.
you gotta have a sense of humor. 35. Okay, so what do we got?
With an increasing number of Illinois concealed carry instructors having their credentials revoked, don't leave your training to chance. Safer USA, Chicago's trusted name in firearm training.
So Rick, our Rick, watching the Ustream feed for the first time. Very cool. The audio feed's a little low though.
Illinois concealed carry program available. Our program will actually
just a shotgun mic, Rick.
Personal protection, including firearm
Yeah, you do have
holster
to
and
turn it
ammunition
up. You have to
selection,
turn up
a
your
comprehensive law
speakers pretty
review
loud.
designed to keep you out
I've
of
noticed
trouble,
that.
and even how to deal with home invasion. We provide the firearm, ammunition, holster.
You know, it wouldn't be very difficult to
Safer USA and the Aurora Sports
get
Club
an open
invite you to
mic
participate in
line
this one-of-a-kind
and
Illinois concealed carry
the feed
program.
line
For more information,
into
visit
the computer.
saferusa.com.
We just
or
need
call
to split it by splitter like Guitar Center.
877-954-3030. That's 877.
So tell me what that would do for me.
That would give people the ability to hear not only what's going on in the studio, but also the ads and the music.
Oh, really?
Callers. Yeah.
And why haven't we been doing this for the past 2.5 years?
Well, I mean, it's never really been something I care about.
And
I was
it's
trying to
still
figure out a less honest answer, but they all would have been obviously less honest. So.
I care about it. What do I have to do?
Well, what we would do is go ahead and take like mic 5 and plug it into an adapter that splits off to a micro or a headphone feed, just like the big headphone. Plug that into the mic 5 headphones, and then you would have both an open mic from the studio and the headphone sound going into the computer.
sounds complicated.
So what do I have to do?
You'd have to buy the adapter and the splitter from Guitar Center or.
Are you going to tell me what I need to buy?
I could find it and email it to you.
Okay.
That'd probably be
I want quality.
the thing
That
is,
Rick,
the open question would be, you know, would the mix be even, or is it a sound from the headphone? We would have to get the headphone sound right with the volume.
it's a work in
She
progress.
tells are inspiring.
It always is.
That Rick,
That's why I tell everybody about my personal life.
that Rick is talking about helping us do sales and stuff.
Okay,
We'll
well,
probably have him in
it'd be
next
great
week.
to hear the ads.
And he was asking
His agent
why
Scott
our
shot
stuff
another
isn't on the Ustream or
Though
whatever.
Joe's budget was tight. Got him $1
Yeah,
million.
I've been asking that quite a bit myself.
Joe
Yeah.
got
I can't get audio.
The last 2
Thanks to
weeks,
his
the
life
Ustream
insurance.
has
Well, put that on for us. Time yet.
I don't
And the
know.
boys can go to college.
You get 20
See how
seconds.
a affordable select quote can
Oh,
make
okay.
just in case.
Tsunami?
For a free quote, call 1-800.
So we're going to talk about
4336. 1-800.
Oh, the NSA thing. Yeah, right.
36.
I told you about this, didn't I?
979.
Did I tell you about this?
4336.
Is it different
Or
than
go to
I helped-
the shot spotter?
I helped do
yeah.
the research.
We
on it.
shot,
Yeah.
you say.
Sons
Listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
Just when you think it's safe to say dirty words about the U.S. government, they come up with yet another way to eavesdrop on us. And this is actually a little close for comfort to me.
It's a little close to home, does it, Lombardo?
It's a little close to home. Lombardo has to go back to church to probably tomorrow and do some mea culpas on this one. Yeah, it's not that funny, George. So this company, ShotSpotter, they were working on this gizmo that when a gunshot goes off, a camera would turn to where the gunshot came from and record whatever was there. Now, this doesn't talk about a camera, it's just audio. So maybe they flush the camera idea down the toilet. But
It
what
probably depends on how much money the city is willing to spend.
oh, they can't be that cynical. It's to prevent crime.
The city in question.
I'm shocked.
Well, you know, the difference between 5 million and 10 million.
Is a
know,
camera.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, maybe we can get 5 million through the city council, but maybe we can't get 10 million through
It's a good point.
without people protesting and throwing fits.
That's a good
So,
point.
you know, whatever we can do with the least amount of public notice.
Well, you know what? Listening to AM560 The Answer, give us a call at 312-642-5600. Is the government just paying too much attention to what we're doing? Here's what now is happening. Apparently, they've installed these in Brooklyn, but they're in Chicago. I got on this project, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago, got a call from these people, and they said, we got this thing and it's going to help law enforcement. They were talking about the camera at the time. And, you know, I was a part-time deputy. I was auxiliary. And I said, well, that sounds good to me. I mean, that makes sense. So I actually programmed it, not the software part, but I produced every firearm and programmed the sound of the signature of every type of bullet, you know, that is reasonably expected on the street. You know, 38s, 357s, that kind of stuff. So they're using my bullets to do this. And when I read this, I about choked. Apparently, people are claiming that they're picking up just they're minding conversations with the microphones. Which, you know, does it really matter? Because they're already reading every email that we send.
Yeah, they're recording every phone call and every email. I'm not sure what the text messages. Are they recording the text messages?
I think they record everything. I told you 2 nights ago, was it? I pulled out of my driveway.
Oh yeah.
This is really freaky.
Okay, so he jokes about black SUVs a lot, but this time it's real.
Yeah, I pulled up. Oh, it was early morning is what it was. I was going out to the classroom,
right?
And I pulled out of my driveway. As I pulled out in the my street's kind of odd.
No, it was at night because you were coming to get me.
Oh, you're right. It
was
at
late
night.
Picking me up.
That's right. It was at night. And my street's kind of funny. It's kind of L. There's an L at the end of it. And there's a black SUV there, a guy sitting in there with binoculars looking in my direction. I swear to God. And, you know, I pull out of the driveway and I'm thinking, all right, you're being paranoid. And so I'm driving up my street to go pick you up. And I'm thinking, how is that paranoid? There's a guy in an SUV parked across the street from me with binoculars looking at me. Looking at me. How exactly does that
binoculars to look
qualify?
100 feet away at my house.
Exactly. So you know what I did? I doubled around. It just kept eating at me, and I just made a big circle and doubled around, came up from behind. He was gone. He left when I left. Now
there's nothing to see here.
Did I tell you, I don't just conceal carry anymore. I now have actually a full Gatling gun strapped to my leg. All I have to do is raise my arm, and it's belt fed.
Well, I would like to tell anyone who's not aware that Illinois concealed carry only covers handguns. Doesn't cover handguns.
You put that thing on my Facebook page about the guy with the concealed carry thing?
Yeah.
With like 5 guns strapped to him?
He's got like a rig with like 6 different kinds of guns on it.
It's,
besides his regular, on the waistband holster.
So the whole NSA, we got to take a break again. But this whole NSA thing, they talk about metadata. Well, we only collect the the numbers and the time and stuff like that.
Wow.
Did you read the things that they can get from that?
No.
They did a whole study on this, and they broke it down by subjects. By the subjects meaning the people who willingly participate. Participant B spoke at length with cardiologists at a major medical center, talked briefly with medical laboratory, received calls from a pharmacy, and placed short calls to home reporting hotline for medical device used to monitor cardiac arrhythmia. Just for metadata.
Great.
Okay, and they got somebody's sex life in here.
I'm sure
for
these are.
metadata.
Yeah, I'm sure these are terrorists.
Yeah.
I'm sure these are known.
So how could what harm could come?
With heart problems and.
What harm could come from the federal government is watching us? This place is out of control.
It is.
Totally out of control.
So my question is, does anyone know where we can go where this isn't going on? Like, I'm thinking Uruguay.
Well, actually, that isn't a bad choice. And Sonderstrom Greenland has, believe it or not, I've been there twice, has a 5-star restaurant. It's beautiful. Okay, we got to go away for a little while. We will be back with more. I'm not sure what more. There's a woman who shot a drive-through because she didn't get bacon. Yeah, I can understand that. So we'll be back with that and more on Target Radio after these messages. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
I should make a joke about my mom. She'll often go out for breakfast. Just order like a side of bacon.
Traffic center.
You know,
Taking a look
as long
at
as you
your
said that.
roadway, it's a smooth ride all around. No delays on the Edens 19
Yeah,
between
I don't
Lakeshook
know.
and Kennedy. Kennedy is 20 both ways from the airport to downtown. Express lanes wide open on the outbound side.
Where's
The
Gangler?
extension between the Kennedy and the
Oh, it's
airport
much
is
too early
clear
for
as well.
Gangler.
Eisenhower 29
Well, yeah,
both
probably
ways.
check out
Stevenson
tomorrow.
34
He
both
never
ways.
gets
No
here
delays on
this
that
early.
inbound ramp to the inbound Ryan.
What is that? Why does he have to pick her up?
And Ryan inbound has the left lane
Well,
goes from
he
75th to
doesn't, I don't think,
67th
but
and right
maybe
lane
she doesn't
from
have
the
her car
Stevenson
or
to
something
Roosevelt
to the shop. I have
delays
no
there.
idea, but
15
I
in
don't
from
think he
the
does. He
5th,
just she likes
15
to
back out.
to come,
I-57
and she has to
Bishop
leave
Ford,
work a little
Lakeshore
bit
Drive
early,
and all
so
four
he
areas
picks her up at
tollways
the last
moving well,
possible minute.
and you're headed free
I'm
through
sure she's
northwest
not keeping an
Indiana.
eye on him for
In
something you
Chicago
should know
right now,
about.
we have 48 degrees and mostly cloudy
What, like
skies, partly cloudy
seizures?
overnight.
I have
around
no
36.
idea.
Monday,
Swallowing
sunny and a
stuff.
high of
I don't
You
know
know
what
what?
to expect.
Next
You know
update
what?
in
I've known Russ
15
for a
minutes
little while
on
now.
AM560 The
I don't
Answer.
think I could ever imagine Russ
Russ on
using any
drugs.
sort of drug or
Well,
even drinking.
Gangler?
Hopefully-
He's never hit a drop.
Hopefully it would be, really? I was gonna say, hopefully it would be a depressant. If you did take a drug, hopefully it would be a depressant.
Yeah, a guy like that doesn't need
To
coke.
explain
Yeah,
it.
he should definitely not take a stimulant of any kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh yeah.
How else is he going to set the Guinness record for reciting all members of all World Series teams of all time?
The man has a mind like a steel trap.
Yeah, for sports stats. it's
Yeah.
amazing.
But only for sports stats.
Well, yeah.
It's awesome.
But I have a mind like a sieve. I can't remember anything.
For information, that's 847.
I've got a midsection like a tire.
I told my dad the other day about the cover that you use every time you forget something, and you go, so what time am I supposed to be picking you up? And I go, remember I said 5:55, and you go, yes, I was just checking to see if you remember.
I just want to make sure your memory still works. That's all.
My dad thought that was really, really funny.
Clients and customers to remember you
Trying
for
to be
the wrong
helpful.
reasons. But who has the energy to maintain that great impression? Image One does. Image One is the difference maker when it comes to making that positive and lasting impression. The Image One team are your trained, certified cleaning impression experts for retail
right.
establishments, office buildings, schools, healthcare facilities, auto dealerships, and manufacturing. Image One is upgrading impressions all over Chicagoland. Call now for your impression evaluation with Image One, 630-616-1010. 630-616-1010.
Stand
Or
by.
online at imageonechicago.com. As the saying goes, you only get one chance to make that first impression. Your impression is an Image One impression. Image One, 630-616-1010. Franchise opportunities are available. imageonechicago.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more on Target Radio, and this is your last chance to call 312-642-5600 and win the, oh, no, wrong show, and say something totally outrageous that we can laugh about all the way home.
That's right.
Speaking of laughing about, this is not.
No.
This woman goes through McDonald's drive-thru. First of all, you like bacon.
I do.
And I like bacon.
You do.
And I think your mother, it's a religious thing, isn't it? About bacon?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. She's
So we get-
required to eat bacon.
Yeah, we get bacon. All right, I get bacon. I don't have a problem with that. She goes to the McDonald's drive-thru, and they forget to put bacon on her hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, I didn't order this. Let's be civil.
Mm-hmm.
She shoots the place.
Yeah.
She shoots through the window, goes through the restaurant, and out the window on the other side.
Yeah.
George?
She had been, she was missing her bacon on an earlier order as well.
Oh, well, then this was
Oh,
silly.
it's
I
completely
shouldn't have
justified.
brought it up. Yeah.
I
shouldn't
can't
have
believe she got convicted
Yeah.
in that case.
Yeah, then that's different. Yeah.
The McDonald's should have been convicted.
Shanika, our heart goes out to you. I understand.
We were wrong to make fun of you.
Yeah, no, it's really Shanika Monique Torres. 30 years old. 30 years old. Yeah, how many killing years does she have left? You know what I'm saying?
Well, she's going to spend 2 of them in prison, so -2, whatever the number is.
2 years, yeah. 2 years for shooting through a restaurant
Yeah.
with people in it.
Right. I don't know exactly what the charge is. I don't know if that would be attempted murder or what, but it's not negligent discharge. I mean, it was it was with intent.
Negligent discharge is what got us shooting. Okay. The issue is.
Oh, right there, rim shot, George.
Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Wow,
joking
I
aside,
didn't know we were going there.
I'm not going there. I'll tell you that right now. The joking aside, which is very difficult on this one to put aside, this is what's wrong with the country. This is what is wrong today.
Well, it's a symptom of many.
But I'm saying
yeah.
this is the poster child. You would you would attempt to shoot somebody because they didn't put bacon on your hamburger. That is somehow a grievous offense against you personally that deserves an attempt to try and kill another human being.
Right. Yeah. Clearly, I think hopefully while she's in prison, maybe some anger management classes.
I'm thinking she'll be saved. She'll go to pork sausage.
I hope so.
Yeah, she'll go to sausage.
I hope she comes to Jesus because she clearly needs some help.
No, it's not going to happen. This is a mindset.
You don't know that.
I do. I know that.
You do not know that.
I know.
You don't get to decide.
Yeah.
Only Jesus gets to decide.
I do. No, I get phone calls at night, and they
Oh
go,
my God.
make a decision on this. Yeah, make a decision.
Oh my gosh, you're going to hell.
You just figured this out?
No, it's just confirmed.
No, but it is. It is indicative of the problem today in this country.
It is that we can't work through our emotions. We can't respond to things in a rational way.
Exactly. And the irony of this is there is no statistical evidence whatsoever in any of 50 states, or 52 if you're the president. There's no statistical.
I think it was 57.
50 what? Was 57 he said?
Yeah, 57.
Oh, well,
That's right.
that's better yet. There's no statistical evidence that concealed carry holders pose any threat to society whatsoever.
Yes.
And we're the ones who are constantly under the gun, no pun intended. And a woman shoots at somebody over a piece of bacon, she gets 2 years.
Yes.
If we did that,
oh, the Bloomberg moms and and all of the Everytown for gun safety, we would be their new poster child.
it would be above the fold in the Tribune. Concealed carry
It
holder
would be above the
shoots
fold
McDonald's.
in every major paper in the country.
It's just it makes me ill. It really does that this is happening. If you do the crime, do the time. I don't care if you're white, black, yellow. I don't care who you are. If you committed an offense, you got to pay for it. Give everybody else a break. Give it a rest.
Yeah. Well, there's two things I want to say about this before we run out of time. First of all, she's a Glock, and that gives Glocks a bad name, and I don't appreciate that. So I'm glad she got, pretty stiff sentence. And second of all, did you see the video I put on your Facebook page with the bacon?
No.
I think that would solve all of our problems.
Oh, you're talking about the thing,
the
mat.
lattice.
Yeah.
We would have no more bacon shootings if restaurants did that. There'd be bacon in every bite. Everyone would be happy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we're going to hell in a handbasket. That's what I think.
Well, yeah, that is an understatement.
And if we have gotten so far down in the bottom of the barrel that we will, and I'm being dead serious, that there are people who would think of shooting you because you don't put a piece of bacon on a hamburger. If we've gone that deep into the barrel, how are we ever going to get out of it?
Well, right. I mean, fast food restaurants get orders wrong like every hour of every day. I mean,
exactly.
There would be no more fast food workers because either they'd get killed or they just wouldn't be able to hire anyone because it was too high risk of a job.
And sometimes it works in your favor. Sometimes the clown ahead of you screws up and you get his bag and you get like $50 worth of food for $1.
Yeah.
And they won't take it back. I actually had that happen to me. They're not going to take it back. So you just hit the jackpot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, then there's like some Christian groups that are promoting like pay for the next guy's order.
Yeah,
so,
which is cool.
Yeah.
Pay it forward.
So so sometimes you hit the jackpot that way too.
We're about out of time.
Almost.
So you know what? We need a second hour.
We need 2 hours.
We need 2 hours.
Everybody with a business, we need 2 hours.
Yep, need more advertising. So we're going to have to take one last break. We'll come back. We'll sort of wrap the whole thing up and that put a little bow on it and send it home. And we'll be back with more On Target Radio to end the whole fiasco. You're listening to AM560
The Answer.
With an increasing number of Illinois concealed carry instructors having their credentials revoked, don't leave your training to chance. Safer USA, Chicago's trusted name in firearm training, has trained almost 6,000 students to be responsible
So I
firearm
went on the concealed carry application website today to check it out and see what the change was, because you're always in the other room doing something else, but I always tell the students, when you go to apply, it's ccl4illinois.com. I'm like, oh, isn't that cute? And, well, if you type that in now, it redirects you. They renamed the URL, but that URL still works, so it just redirects
What is it
you.
now?
It's
Kind of like 560wind.com.
ISPFSB.com.
Very quickly,
Firearms Services Bureau, I think.
very quickly, John from Creek called, told him we didn't have any time for any more calls today, but he made a very salient point, so I figured I would pass it on to you if you wanted to pass it on to anyone else. He was saying that that he thinks that the left in general, and Obama specifically, is looking to actively encourage behavior like the woman at the drive-thru, behavior like the people videotaping their friends, because the more reckless and wild society gets, the easier it is to impart martial law. That was John's. I was like, I wish I could put you on today. You know, it was a great. You know,
he was on his meds.
Why couldn't you make that kind of sense most of the other times? But yeah, so, anyway, just put that out there in case you wanted to appease him.
It's true.
You
Before second.
like John? You want to do John? Wait, you want to say what John said?
Well, or either really. We need the ratings.
You know, I think we could actually do a whole show about that.
About this president is doing his damn level best to make everybody hate each other?
To make it so that he can rationalize martial law and suspend the next election, and you know.
You ready for the I'll bring it
ready.
in.
On AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that have.
And we're back with more On Target Radio, and now that magic moment that will tell you what you can be doing for fun and education in the upcoming week.
Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
The Illinois State Police will now accept only online applications for FOID cards, with a few exceptions. To access the online application, go to www.ispfsb.com. This is also the new way to access the concealed carry application site. If you are passionate about getting rid of gun-free zones or would like more information, watch the new short documentary by the Outdoor Channel, Safe Haven. The hour-long special is hosted by Katie Pavlich, one of my favorite conservative journalists, and features experts like Masad Ayub and J. Eric Dietz, and individuals on the front lines like Jeannie Assam and Amanda Collins. Safe Haven premieres on the Outdoor Channel on Wednesday, April 1st at 3:30 p.m. Chicago time. Safer USA will be closed this week in observance of Holy Week. The following Safer USA classes are all in our office in Waterman. Saturday and Sunday, April 11th and 12th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David, Gretchen, and Ed Ronkowski and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry, as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Sunday, April 12th, Long Range Rifle, taught by Ed Janka. Saturday, April 18th, Illinois Concealed Carry 2 for those who have an exemption for the first 8 hours, taught by Gretchen. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
Always a brilliant report.
Thank you.
We got cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
We're not part of it. Well, we are coming up in April. That's good. So that's another show in the can. Some interesting stuff. John from Creek called. Yes. And John is a regular. He calls a lot. And he made we didn't have enough time to put him on the air, but he told Georgie what he was thinking. And he makes what I think you agree with me is to be a very valid point.
I absolutely do. And I actually said I think we should do a whole show on it.
Yeah. And John's basically, his premise is that this administration is doing its best to foment, to just divide everybody, make everybody hate each other, because eventually
and act crazy.
And shoot people over bacon and stuff. I mean, if it were over ice cream, I could get that. But, bacon, no. To declare martial law.
Right. If things get crazy enough, it will be justifiable for him to declare martial law, suspend the next presidential election, and just be the dictator.
And, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that. I thought he was, kind of a nutball and he was doing weird stuff. But now, I think it's a possibility. I really do.
We got a comment on Facebook from our friend Marilyn. She said she agrees we need a 2-hour show.
Marilyn, her husband is like a venture capitalist guy.
Yeah. How about some venture capital up in here?
Yeah, it's a venture. It's adventure. Adventure, venture, I don't know. It's one of those words.
Well, it's definitely a venture.
Yeah, I'm photosynthesis, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so Gangler showed up. I see he's wandering around the studio here. He'll be in with Living Sports, following us up, listening to that comes up after us. The guy has got when it comes to sports, he has like this steel trap mind.
He has like photographic memory. It's pretty amazing.
It's astounding. Of course, he could be lying because I wouldn't know the first. I wouldn't know the first score of my
I
life.
probably couldn't Google it fast enough to fact check it. So
exactly.
So yeah,
Anyway.
I wouldn't know.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to Target Radio. Be sure to listen next week when we will be covering the red meat issues that affect your life.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board, our sponsors, DS Arms, Gaylord's Fine Indian Cuisine, Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, Stone City Kitchen and Bath Design Center, and Safer USA.
It's easy for you to say, isn't it?
That's
Stone?
the one I always mess up.
You're Stone City, right?
Stone Kitty. That was my favorite.
Sounds like George is reading it now.
That's my favorite mess up ever.
It is indeed. What am I going to say? Next week we'll have some great show. We just have no idea what it's going to be. So be sure to tune in. And as always, thank you, Michael, for making all this happen. Okay.
Supposed to balance the budget when our appliances keep breaking down. Last month it was the furnace. Before that, the refrigerator. What's it
The
going to be
refrigerator.
this month?
Before that, it was the refrigerator. Oh, there he is. There he is. Look how arrogant he is.
Obama?
Yeah, he was just on.
I thought you were talking about gang.
No, he was on,
Hold on, don't pull my plug yet.
preaching and all that, I just.